Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. So I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Jadon Sancho. I have been keeping up to date of what's been going on with Jadon Sancho on a regular basis. Then I am going to be... What? Yeah. Alright. Alright. I don't know. No. Then I'm going to give you, sorry, I'm just talking. Then I'm going to give you a bit more additional information on Pogba. Then I'm going to be talking with you about Ighalonleaving. So let's start with the news on Jadon Sancho. So according to recent reports, these reports are stemming from Germany. Jadon Sancho wants to leave Borussia Dortmund and he will not be signing a contract extension. It does also mention in the Daily Express that we are set to discuss swap deals and loans with Borussia Dortmund for Jadon Sancho, because Borussia Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation. They do want at least £100 million for the player. Now, don't forget, reports were saying earlier on this week that Man United had offered Alexis Sanchez to Borussia Dortmund as part of a swap deal of getting Jadon Sancho. Now, obviously, Sanchez's substantial wages could be the stumbling block of that swap deal materialising. Now, I give you the news on Alexis Sanchez yesterday, and there's actually no positivity regarding Sanchez from a Manchester United perspective, because the Inter Milan sporting director recently came out and said that Sanchez will stay at Inter Milan for the rest of the season. And actually, Inter Milan could possibly get him on a permanent deal if he can, be impressive. I think he's seldom played for Inter Milan as Sanchez, because obviously, he has been injured. Even though we did loan Alexis Sanchez out last summer to Inter Milan, we are still paying the vast majority of his wages. I still believe we're paying him like £300,000 a week, and Inter Milan are paying the other £100,000. Sanchez did endure 18 difficult months at Manchester United, because when we got Sanchez from Arsenal back in January 2018 as part of a swap deal of Mkhitaryan going to Arsenal, I thought Sanchez would have been exceptional for us, and I thought he would have lived up to expectations, but he didn't. So at Man United he failed to rediscover the form of what he produced in his 3.5-4 years of Arsenal. He failed to rediscover, what he produced at Barcelona when he was younger under Pep Guardiola's guidance. Sanchez has still got a contract with us until 2022, but I don't think we want him back at the football club. But revert back to January, Solskjaer did say, Sanchez will come back to prove everybody wrong. But that was the rumour that was coming out earlier on this week, and stories were stemming from Mundo Deportivo. There was talks of Sanchez and Jadon Sancho as a swap deal and that. But as you all know, Jadon Sancho is our number one priority target. And I think recently as well, he's had tattoos on his arm. The Simpsons and, is it Sonic? The Hedgehog, I think, he had tattooed on his arms, did Jadon Sancho. Now, we've been in for Jadon Sancho for at least a few years now. We first expressed our interest in Jadon Sancho in 2017, and this was under Jose Mourinho. Now, of course, Jadon Sancho is into his third season with Borussia Dortmund. I think he's been a revelation since his arrival in Germany. Borussia Dortmund is the third club in his playing career, because obviously, before he was at Borussia Dortmund, he was at Man City. Enjoyed a couple of years at Man City, but never got any first team opportunities, and that's the main explanation why I left City for Dortmund. And before he was at City, he was at Watford. He began his footballing career with Watford, and he was at Watford for several years. Borussia Dortmund only paid £8 million for Sancho from Man City, so Dortmund are looking to make a huge profit on the player. Sancho still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022. Reports also came out not too long ago, and they did say that Jadon Sancho's move to Manchester United depends on Manchester City having their 2-year European ban upheld. I think City's 2-year European ban will be watched by CAS next month. So we'll know the outcome on either the 8th, the 9th or the 10th of June or something like that. We will know the outcome. You had David Ornstein, who's a very credible journalist, coming out the other week, saying that there's a very high chance that Sancho will join Manchester United in the summer transfer window because we still remain the favourites to sign him. And Sancho's obviously said that his preferred option would be a move to Manchester United. The Borussia Dortmund managing director was talking quite a few weeks ago, and he did say that he expects players' transfer valuations to drop due to the coronavirus crisis. But I think we said we're hopeful of getting Sancho for around 60 or 70 million pounds, but neither of them figures are going to be enough to convince, Dortmund to offload him. There's still a possibility chance that Sancho could stay at Dortmund for next season, then maybe leave next summer, but I'm hopeful that we can get him in the summer transfer window. Don't forget we've been working on Jadon Sancho's contract for quite some time. We've also been in negotiations with his agent, like Fabrizio Romano confirmed a while back. And Fabrizio Romano is a very reliable Italian journalist. Don't forget we've already said that we're willing to offer Jadon Sancho number 7. Because obviously we've got number 7 vacant at the moment, and we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations. We had the likes of Ronaldo, George Best, Eric Cantona, David Beckham. I think Owen was our number 7 at one point, but there again, our recent number 7s weren't so good. But I think he'd do very, very well in number 7, and Sancho would go well in our attacking line alongside the likes of Rashford, Greenwood, and Anthony Martial, and that he really, really wouldn't. Don't forget Jadon Sancho's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. Don't forget Dortmund are known as a selling football club because, they have sold quite a few of their players, to the Premier League in recent years. Obviously, they lost the likes of Aubameyang, Christian Pulisic, Ilkay Gundogan, Shinji Kagawa at one point they lost, Mkhitaryan. There's players as well that they let go that didn't go to the Premier League. Obviously, like Ousmane Dembele go to Barca. Was it around 3 years ago? They obviously, let Matt Hummels go to Bayern Munich. So they have lost quite a few of their imperative players. But there again, Dortmund have recruited a few players in recent years. They got Haaland in January for 17 mil. They got other players they've recruited in recent years. Is Emre Can. They got Julian Braun, Thorgan Hazard. So there you go. But then players that left Dortmund, Dortmund generated a lot of money for their departures. So yeah, so that is the latest news on Jadon Sancho. That's the latest news on him. That, he does want to leave Borussia Dortmund, and, he wants to reunite in the Premier League. But I think it will be very, very beneficial for Jadon Sancho's career. I really, really do. And that. Sancho, by the way, has been out with a calf injury. Since the Bundesliga returned, he hasn't played from the start. Obviously, he's been making substitute appearances, and Sancho is only at the age of 20. So that is the latest news on Jadon Sancho. I'm going to give you the news on Odion Ighalo, then I'm going to delve into the news on Paul Pogba. So the ongoing situation with Odion Ighalo. Now, I think Odion Ighalo could end up staying at Manchester United because recent reports have said that Odion Ighalo will risk a 75 million contract with Shanghai Shenhua to remain at Manchester United for the rest of the season. Now, I think this was stemming from ESPN, this story, and it does actually mention that Shanghai Shenhua have softened their stance on Odion Ighalo, and they will allow Odion Ighalo to extend his loan at Man United until January, providing that Odion Ighalo does sign a 2-year contract with Shanghai Shenhua worth £400,000 a week, because this is what Shanghai Shenhua have currently offered him and that. Now, don't forget Odion Ighalo's loan spell at the football club expires tomorrow, which is, the 31st of May. Reports came out earlier on this week saying that we wanted to extend Odion Ighalo's loan for the further 3 months, but Shanghai Shenhua had turned this proposal down. Shanghai Shenhua did say that they expect Odion Ighalo to return in time for the start of the new Chinese Super League season. But Ighalo's already revealed that he wants to, remain at Manchester United. Solskjaer also wants to keep him at the football club. Don't forget Odion Ighalo's agent earlier on this week. He said, that Odion Ighalo is close to signing a contract extension with Manchester United and that. Shanghai Shenhua have already said that if they are to get rid of Odion Ighalo permanently, they do want around £20 million if they are to get rid of him permanently. Maybe we've got reservations about paying £20 million to get him permanently. Now, don't forget, we got Odion Ighalo in on loan on January deadline day. We paid around £4 million to get him on loan. And I think at the moment we are paying a third of his wages. Like I mentioned, Odion Ighalo's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career. Like I said, he has been a very, very good cover up to Marcus Rashford. But if Ighalo does end up leaving the club, then which striker should Manchester United recommend in? So I don't know what's happening with the guy. I think he could be staying, but there's still a chance, he could be leaving. But the strikers that have been in our agenda, Joshua King, he's been in our agenda. Timo Werner, he's been in our agenda. Moussa Dembele, I gave you the news on Moussa Dembele yesterday, so the ongoing situation with him. There was talks of Harry Kane, was it a couple of months ago, something like that. So yeah, there's been so many strikers on our agenda. And we have got a lot of good attacking players, Rashford. I think overall Rashford's our best player, or one of our best players. And he was one of our best players earlier on in the season before he sustained this back injury, Marcus Rashford. The good news is now regarding Rashford that he is now back from injury. So when the season resumes, he's going to be back. Also, too, Paul Pogba's going to be back as well when the season resumes. I think, Anthony Martial has done very, very well under Solskjaer. Obviously, Martial's been playing in the number 9 role this season because he seems to be more effective in that number 9 as Anthony Martial. But he does actually, predominantly play out wide on the left, does Martial. That's where he seems to be more... Well, that's where he seems to play. But this season he's been playing central, like I mentioned. Martial now is into his 5th season at Manchester United. Like I've said to you, I think one of the best seasons Martial enjoyed was his debut season under the Louis van Gaal era. But I think we'll keep Martial centrally anyway, and I think Rashford will go out wide because Rashford seems to be more effective from that wide position. Like I said, Mason Greenwood's a very, very good attacking player. This has been Mason Greenwood's first full season in the senior squad. It really, really has. It's been his first full season in the senior squad. And he's done very, very well. I think he's got, 12 or 13 goals in all competitions this season. Daniel James is another good attacking player we've got. But, we still do need to recommend the striker in. We really, really doing that. So now let's delve into the news on Paul Pogba. And I think, Paul Pogba is going to be staying at Manchester United for next season. But I'm not too sure about the foreseeable future. Now, reportedly, Real Madrid are pessimistic about signing Paul Pogba in the summer transfer window. Now, the main explanation for this is because of Paul Pogba's wages, because Paul Pogba is on around £15 million a year at Manchester United and that. And Real Madrid are not, willing to pay off his wages because they fear the wage row with Sergio Ramos and Casemiro. Because they'll think, it will cause disputes in the dressing room and that. If they were to pay Paul Pogba $15 million a year, then obviously, they'd have problems with Casemiro and, Sergio Ramos on that. So, now reflecting on this anyway, Real Madrid are no longer interested in signing Paul Pogba and that. Like I said, last summer, Real Madrid were relentlessly linked with Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba's preference last summer was to make a move to Real Madrid. But the main explanation why his move to Real Madrid didn't materialise was reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, because we said last summer we wanted around 180 million. Real Madrid were not willing to meet that valuation. But Paul Pogba did make the admission last summer. He said, he wanted to leave Manchester United because he was seeking for a new challenge, and even publicly admitted that he wanted to leave the football club. And Paul Pogba was talking a lot about Real Madrid last year, about, his dreams of playing under Zinedine Zidane. Real Madrid, recruited a good I think it was around 5 or 6 players last summer and spent, nearly £300 million on them. Obviously, Madrid got Eden Hazard in. They also got Luka Jovic in. They got Ferland Mendy in, Rodrigo, Eden Militao and that. So, they're the players I think Real Madrid recruited in last summer. Also, too, Real Madrid are looking to get rid of players as well. They're not only looking to get more players in, they're looking to get rid of more players when the summer transfer window opens. They're looking to get rid of James Rodriguez. They're looking to get rid of Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. Karim Benzema's coming to an end of his career. They're looking to get rid of Bale. They haven't really been satisfied with Luka Jovic and that. So if they can get rid of players, Real Madrid, they're going to generate money that way. Don't forget, Real Madrid are the richest club in the world. Now, as you all know, reports were stemming out earlier on this week, saying that Real Madrid were willing to offer up to 4 of their players to get Paul Pogba. So Real Madrid given us a choice of 4 players to choose from, so they can get Paul Pogba. James Rodriguez was mentioned. Brahim Diaz, he was also mentioned. Lucas Vazquez, however you pronounce his name, he was also mentioned. And another player was mentioned, and that was Martin Odegaard. So Martin Odegaard, James Rodriguez, Brahim Diaz, and Lucas Vazquez. That's it, Vazquez. He was also mentioned as well. But like I've said, swap deals have been on the agenda. Like I said, I'll stick to what I said. If Paul Pogba leaves Manchester United, I think he'll make a return back to Juventus. I really, really do, because Paul Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances at Man United have been sort of comparison to his ones in Turin and that. And don't forget, Juventus have tried to offer us quite a few of their players, to get Paul Pogba back to Juventus. Obviously, there's been talks of Adrian Rabiot. There's been talks of Aaron Ramsey. There's also been talks of Federico Bernardeschi. There's been talks of Douglas Costa, Milan Panjanic. At one point, there was talks about Matthijs de Ligt. But, swap deals are very, very rare in the modern game. Don't forget, it did say, that it wasn't too long ago that Juventus wanted Paul Pogba to lower his wage demands so he could make a return to Juventus. But I think Juventus have accepted that they're not going to re-sign Paul Pogba in the summer transfer window. So that means Paul Pogba is going to be staying at Manchester United. Like I said, in recent weeks and that, you've had the likes of PSG that have been in for Pogba. I think for PSG to get Pogba, they'd have to offload Mbappe or Neymar, who are the 2 most expensive players in the world. Inter Milan, maybe Antonio Conte is keen on reuniting with Paul Pogba. Inter Milan, they've got, is it Mario Icardi out on loan at the moment with PSG? I think they've also got Ivan Perisic out on loan at Bayern Munich of Inter Milan and that. And I think they are looking to get rid of them on permanent transfers. Don't forget, Inter Milan have already recruited 3 of our players, but Paul Pogba, will not go to Inter Milan. Don't forget, Barcelona have also been in for Pogba in the past. So there you go. But Paul Pogba will be here next season, and I'm very, very excited about the prospect of him playing alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield, because they've not yet had the chance to play together in our midfield of Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes. They haven't had the chance in that. It's good news now anyway that Paul Pogba's back from injury. He's back from injury now, is Paul Pogba, because he was out with an ankle injury. Paul Pogba's only played 8 times this season for the football club. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries. The last time he started from the start was back in September. And the last time he played was on Boxing Day in the 4-1 win against Newcastle. But Paul Pogba did reveal his plan ahead of his return. He is aiming to be the best player in the world. Paul Pogba's got a year left on his Man United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. But we did say if we're to sell Paul Pogba in the summer transfer window, we do want at least £100 million. We paid £89 million for him, so at the moment he is our most expensive signing. Paul Pogba has won 2 trophies at the football club, and that was the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season. As well, Paul Pogba endured a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. Also, too, we had Paul Pogba when he was young under Ferguson, but due to limited appearances, we did let Paul Pogba go on A3 and that. We've been very, very critical of Mini Raiola, reflecting on some of the comments he has said since the turn of the year. I think Ed Woodward's had some negotiations, with, Mini Raiola to try and resolve Paul Pogba's future. But, due to the financial issues with the coronavirus and that, probably players are going to go for a lot less than what they're worth, because reports came out the other week, quite a few weeks ago it was now, and they said, Pogba could be sold for just 60 or 70 million pounds and that. But I think anyway, Paul Pogba's staying at the club, but there's been a few players on our agenda who could replace him if he does decide to leave Manchester United and that. But I think now he wants to stay anyway, so that's obviously very, very positive news. But there's been so many players on our agenda, like I mentioned. Obviously, like I said, Jadon Sancho, our number one priority target. Jude Bellingham, he's another one of our priority targets. Jack Grealish, he's also another one of our priority targets as well. But Solskjaer's already identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. Where he does want to strengthen up and that, he's identified the areas. But it'll be interesting to see how we approach the summer transfer window. It will be very, very interesting. But I think, we can be very competitive in the summer transfer window, because a lot of clubs are going to face an unprecedented summer transfer window due to, the coronavirus pandemic. Now, don't forget, we recently taken a £140 million loan from our £150 million revolving credit facility. The main explanations why we did that is obviously, to help us get through the coronavirus crisis, and also, to fund moves in the summer transfer window. So with us, we've drawn this 140 million loan. It could help us get the players that we want in the summer transfer window. Now, don't forget, we know our financial figures now. They got revealed the other week, and our debt had risen up by almost 130 million, and our net debt now in total is like 429.1 million or something like that. With the club no longer predicting revenues of up to 580 million and that. Don't forget also, Ed Woodward mentioned on the statement. He also mentioned on the statement, did Ed Woodward, that, the coronavirus pandemic is one of the hardest moments in Man United's 142-year history. In the first 18 days of lockdown, the coronavirus pandemic cost us I think it cost us 23 million the first 18 days of lockdown with the coronavirus, yeah. And I think the coronavirus pandemic has cost us around £28 million, but we did say we expect the final figure to be much higher than that. Woodward's been talking a lot in, recent weeks and months, and he did come out last month and said, we won't do business as usual in the summer transfer market. So he basically ruled out big transfers to Man United, and he did say, we won't be spending hundreds of millions of pounds and stuff like that. But there you go. And by the way, we are the richest club in the Premier League, but we are the second richest club in the world, just behind Real Madrid. I think we are worth around 2.84 billion or something like that. By the way, we're going to be offloading players in the summer transfer window. We're going to get rid of around maybe 5, 6, 7 players in the summer transfer window. So we're going to generate money in that. We're going to generate money that way, aren't we? There's big decisions to make in the summer transfer window. Of what players Solskjaer is going to recommend in, and what players Solskjaer is going to get rid of. I have an idea of the players we're going to get rid of. I think we're definitely going to get rid of Phil Jones, because he can't even get into the team. Phil Jones. Phil Jones is now into his 9th season at Manchester United. Phil Jones has been here since the Alex Ferguson era, and he has been mainly inconsistent. I think Phil Jones is our 5th choice centre-half or something like that. But we've got a lot of centre-halves in the team anyway. You've got Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof that are our first choices centre-halves. You've got Bailly and Tuanzebe that are our backup centre-halves. They're our backup centre-halves, Bailly and Tuanzebe. Fosu Mensah's also there as well. So there's no way, that Phil Jones can get into the team. So we need to get rid of him in the summer transfer window. Small and Rojo, I think we'll get rid of them on permanent transfers. I updated you not too long ago about them, and, it said now we want around 17 or 18 million for Smalling. Paulo Finesca, the Roma boss, did say that Chris Smalling wants to stay at Roma because he's been a revelation since he went on loan to Roma, Chris Smalling. Don't forget Chris Smalling endured 9 years with Manchester United, but we won't take him back. Rojo, I think we want around £12 million to get rid of him permanently, Marcus Rojo. I think Estudiantes want to get him permanently. I also think that Boca Juniors are interested in Marcus Rojo. I think actually, Marcus Rojo was like our 6th choice centre half. I think we're going to get rid of Jesse Lingard. We're also going to get rid of Andres Pereira because, they're very, very inconsistent as well. Hopefully, we can get rid of Sanchez. There's been, obviously, been rumours of Diego Dalot possibly leaving the club as well. He did mention that Barcelona and PSG were interested in Dalot, but I think Solskjaer is determined to keep Dalot. Dalot's appearances have been limited at the football club this season because of his injuries, but he is our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka is Diego Dalot. Angel Gomez. I can see actually, Angel Gomez leaving Manchester United at the end of next month because that's when his current contract does expire on the 30th of June. Don't forget, it did say earlier on this week that we had put a final contract offer in for Angel Gomez and we've offered him around 1.5 million a year, for him to stay at Manchester United. I think 1.5 million equates to around nearly £30,000 a week with bonuses included for appearances, goals and trophies won. But whether he accepts this or not, I do not know. Obviously, I think we've put forward a couple of contract offers for Angel Gomez, but I think Angel Gomez has got strong reservations about his getting into the first team and that because Angel Gomez's appearances have been limited at the club. He's only made 6 first team appearances this season, and I think he's only made 1 start. And these clubs in for him. Chelsea are keen on getting him. Arsenal were in for him. Barcelona and that. But I think we want to keep Angel Gomez at the football club. I think we offered him a £25,000 a week one contract, but obviously he had turned this down. But Angel Gomez is not the only player that's found game time difficult. You have Tahith Chong. He's played a few times, but he's still found game time difficult. James Garner. He's also found game time very, very difficult. By the way, I think, we are going to be loaning James Garner out. So there you go. So players are going to leave Man United in the summer transfer window. To be fair, Solskjaer has got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended into Manchester United. I think we have seen a total of 19 players leave the club since Solskjaer came in. I think around 89 senior players have left and around 10, players have left as well. So I will credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for that. I will credit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for that and that. Yeah. And don't forget, there's decisions that Manchester United have got to make for when the season resumes, and there's also decisions we've got to make for next season. That we're facing a dilemma at left back. We've got a left back dilemma. Who do you think should be our first choice left back next season? Should Luke Shaw remain our first choice left back, or should Brandon Williams be our first choice left back next season? Because I think in the games Brandon Williams played in this season, he has done very, very well, and I've got to give him a lot of credit. But he's still inexperienced at the moment, is Brandon Williams, and Solskjaer will go on the experience, and Luke Shaw's got that experience, and Williams hasn't really got it yet. So maybe Luke Shaw could be still our first choice left back next season. My only element of concern about Shaw is that he's very injury prone. But prior to that, very, very good left back. Before the football season got suspended, he was in a good vein of form, was Luke Shaw. Because he missed the first part of the season, due to injury and that, did Luke Shaw. And I think Luke Shaw now is into his 6th season at Manchester United. I think the goalkeeping decision has already been made. David De Gea is going to remain our number 1 goalkeeper for next season. Because David De Gea has been our number 1 for several years. As you all know, Dean Henderson, he's out on loan at Sheffield United at the moment. I've got to say, he has been a revelation since he's been out on loan with Sheffield United. I think this has been his 2nd loan with Sheffield United. He's also had a few other loan spells with Grimsby, Stockport and Shrewsbury and that. Dean Henderson has got a contract with Man United until 2022. we've already made a decision on his future, and we will allow him to remain on loan with Sheffield United until the end of the season. But if we are to recall Dean Henderson for next season, then obviously he'll want to be number one. I think we're reluctant to get rid of him permanently because we see him as a long-term replacement for De Gea, but we'll probably loan him back out anyway for next season, Dean Henderson. But yeah, so David De Gea is going to remain our number one goalkeeper. David De Gea is now into his 9th season at Manchester United. He's been here since the Ferguson era. I think analysing it, De Gea's probably he's had 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been here. You can say he has been a bit of a liability in the last couple of years, reflects on his calamitous mistakes and that. Don't forget De Gea said a while ago that he intends to stay at Manchester United for the next 10 years, which I don't think is going to happen. De Gea is approaching his 10th year now at the football club. But when De Gea eventually leaves Man United, I think he will make a return back to Spain anyway. Like I said, we've got to make a decision on Angel Gomez's future. We've got to know we need to reach an agreement with Shanghai Shenhua by tomorrow for Odi and Ighalo. We've got to make a decision on Pogba's future. So there's so many things to sort out and that. So many things to sort out. Solskjaer probably as well needs to work out his best 11 because he's been making a lot of rotation this season. But the main explanation why he's been making a lot of rotation is, reflects on the amount of injuries we've had throughout the course of this season. Maybe he needs to work out his best formation because he has been changing formation persistently this season. He's been going with a 4-2-3-1 a lot, 4-3-3, 3-5-2. From my own perception, will look more expansive with that 3-5-2 formation. That. So there's things, that do need to be sorted out and that, like I confirmed with you guys yesterday, the dates were announced for the FA Cup. The FA Cup quarterfinals are going to be played on the 27th and the 28th of June. The semi-finals are going to be played on the 18th and the 19th of July. And the final is going to be played on the 1st of August. I think the European games are going to be played in August as well. And like I said, we've got things to look forward to when the season resumes. Obviously we're chasing that top 4. We want Champions League qualification for next season. We're sitting 5th at the moment, 3 points behind Chelsea. FA Cup and Europa League's a priority for us because that's a chance for us getting some silverware on the board under Solskjaer and that. And like I said, the Premier League is going to be resuming on the 17th of June and the Premier League is going to be finishing on the 25th of July. So that has all been sorted out and I think games are going to be played at neutral grounds. So there you go on that. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.